Greetings, boys and girls. This is Mr. S with Chapter 11 review on industry. 35 questions, multiple choice. You can use notes, so make them well. Start of the chapter. We're in key issue 1. Know about the Industrial Revolution, when it began, late 1700s. Where did it start? Great Britain. One of the main sources from it, or to power the source of that, coal. Most important transportation from that period, the canal. Okay. Then we looked at different ideas of proximities, of areas, different regions. So things like that the Mid-Rhine was really important because of its proximity to consumers. If we look at North America today, northeastern United States and Southern California, major producers due to their availability to markets. The Great Western Lakes area today, industrial asset is transportation. Canada, St. Lawrence Valley and Ontario Peninsula. And then proximity to different inputs, for example, Ural Mountains and the 1,000 different minerals that are found there. So look at all those types of issues in key issue 1. Then in key issue 2, we looked at the ideas of different types of industry, proximity to inputs. For example, bulk reducing industries. Look at the examples of the copper mine. Look at the different factors of it: mining, concentration, smelting. Look at the role of bulk gaining industries and how their main thing is to minimize the cost of shipping. Look at that same example here in the U.S., how U.S. assembly plants are in the Midwest to minimize shipping costs, those bulk gaining industries. Look at the idea of fabrication plants and bulk gaining industries. Look at the idea of mini mills and the idea of how car producers want to be close to markets for resale of cars. When we talk about transportation of vehicles, look at the idea that the lowest cost or form for long distance is by boat. Look at the idea of a beer bottling plant as an example of bulk gaining industry. Look at the role of a maquiladora in Mexico and how it's too far from the just-in-time delivery model. Then we go into key issue 3, the idea of why are site factors important. Look at the idea of labor. Look at the idea of site factors. Look at the role of aluminum factors and how they're near low-cost energy sources. Look at the role of textile industries and how textile industries depend on low-cost labor. And again, look at site factors, things like land, capital, labor, those kind of factors that go into site factors and where we determine where we put sites. Look at one of those major costs too of labor and how the average wage in MDCs is 4 times greater than that of LDCs. Look at the role of the U.S. Gulf Coast and how its access to oil and natural gas has made that an important industrial area. And then finally in key issue 4, why are location factors changing? Look at the role of outsourcing. Look at the role of Europe and the U.S. and the interregional shifts of manufacturing and how we have moved things around in different regions throughout the countries. The difference is Europe encourages it. Its government helps and encourages relocation so that everyone benefits, which we don't. Look at the role of decline of steel production in the United States. Look at the idea of vertical integration, where we maintain control over all phases of production. Look at the idea of having skilled labor and rapid delivery to market. That's why the northeastern United States and northwestern Europe still are major factors of influence for production. Look at the idea of spreading parts of production throughout countries or communities, and what that does is give companies larger bargaining power. Look at the idea of Fordists versus post-Fordists and the idea of their roles in production, and we'll talk about that concept. And then again, like I said, talk about outsourcing and, for example, the difference between U.S. cars and foreign cars, at least from the U.S. government perspective, is that U.S. cars, in the purchasing of cars, or cars are labeled with what's called the American Automobile Labeling Act. The U.S. Treasury Department Customs sets tariffs to control the amount of tax on foreign cars. And then finally, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, measures fuel efficiency. That's why all cars coming over from other countries have to meet those standards. That should do it. That should be most of them. Make good notes. See you later. Chapter 11, Industry.